Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. So this is recorded, so hopefully nobody has any objections to that. Uh, so let's start off. Let's start off with one quick round of japa, like we do every time. This japa is very important. Yeah. The holy names of the Lord are invested in this mantra: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, and this comes in the Kali Sanantara Upanishad, yeah, where there's a discussion between Lord Brahma and Narada Muni. And Narada Muni is very much concerned that in the Kali Yuga, it's going to be very difficult for everybody to, get liberation. So what is the easiest way? And that's when Lord Brahma gives him that this mantra, if it is chanted, yeah, then that mantra itself is the ultimate solution to all problems. So we follow what the Upanishads say. Yeah, let's do this one round of Hare Krishna mantra. We do it on a small set of beads so that we all can focus for 5 minutes and try to listen to the mantra. Yeah, that's the only thing that needs to be done. Yeah, let's all listen and try to repeat along with that. Let's do one quick prayer to our acharyas, to our gurus, so that they can bless us in remembering and concentrating on the holy name of the Lord. So let's start with that. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So together with focus and attention, let's try to concentrate for 5 minutes and hear the names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome all. Good. Good to see a lot of you who are inquisitive about what the Bhagavad Gita is. So I hope everybody knows where the scripture is. The scripture itself is in this library, vedabase.io. If you go, yeah, there a lot of our books are there. ISKCON's books are there, and we are reading the very first one, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Yeah, and when you open up, this is what it comes to. Yeah. So prior to actually starting off with the chapter, Srila Prabhupada has given a lot of background information about what this entire Bhagavad Gita is about. What is the scenes? He has set the scene in what position has this happened? Yeah, and many of you would know where this is happening. Yeah, so the first part, setting the scene, is what we are discussing now in this particular first session. So everybody is aware what Bhagavad Gita is, I'm sure. Some view, some information is there. So when somebody says Bhagavad Gita, what comes to your mind? Nothing. Everybody goes blank. Is it? Bhagavad Gita, but suddenly everything is blank. Is that it? Something must be coming to your mind when you say Bhagavad Gita.
700 verses.
700 verses. Oh, wow. Very nice. The number of verses come to mind. Okay. What else?
It's the communication between Lord Krishna and Arjuna.
Very nice. It is advice, it is communication, it is a discussion between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. What else?
It's a manual.
It's a manual. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. It's a manual for living. Yeah. So typically that's one of the things that we say. In fact, it became quite famous in some viral video where a small boy is talking about how when you go to the market, you get something to get to the market to buy some appliance. Along with the appliance, you get a manual. The manual tells us how to use the appliance. Yeah, even we have got this body. Yeah, how to where is the manual for the body? This Bhagavad Gita or scriptures is one of the manual. Yes, manual. It's a manual. Very nice manual for living. What else? Where? What do you think? Where is it? In what?
Spoken,
Spoken. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, it was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
Battlefield, very nice. It's spoken in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Yeah, so that's the just before the war is going to start. There is this discussion between Lord Krishna and Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So who is the war against? Who are fighting? Any guesses? Anybody knows? Everybody knows, I'm sure.
And Pandavas.
Kauravas and Pandavas, very nice. And where does this come? Where, in what scripture this entire thing is shown? Kauravas and Pandavas fight?
Mahabharat.
Mahabharata, very nice. Yeah. So the Mahabharata is where the entire story of this particular the entire war is happening as part of Mahabharata. Yeah, and it is this entire Mahabharata is actually composed by Vyasadev. Yeah, and we can see Vyasadev dictating here to Lord Ganesha as part of his work towards this writing of the Mahabharata. Yeah. So within that, it appears as oops, yeah, it appears as one of the episodes. Yeah, which is during the war. This one comes. Yeah, and as part of the story about the war, this discussion between Lord Krishna and Arjuna is. Yeah, and Arjuna has got confused. He doesn't know what to do, how to do his duty, and therefore, Lord Krishna, he asks Lord Krishna, and this becomes a greatest philosophical and religious dialogue just before the war. That's how it is described in many places. So that's the big picture of where the Bhagavad Gita comes. Where does it fit in the entire setup? Yeah. It is a discussion between Arjuna and his guru, or Lord Krishna, yeah, who is a friend and devotee of Lord Krishna, Arjuna himself. Yeah, that's how this particular, yes. And of course, between the war is between two sets of people. Yeah, the Kurus or the Kauravas, we all know. Kauravas, whose father is Dhritarashtra, who's born blind. He has 100 sons. Yeah, eldest is Duryodhana. Yeah, and between Pandu is also the brother of Dhritarashtra. Yeah, and the five Pandavas, yeah, Yudhishthir, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadev, and of course Krishna on the side of the Pandavas. They all have been taught by Dronacharya, who is the teacher. Yeah, and this between these two people is where the war is about to happen. And just prior to the war, this particular Bhagavad Gita gets spoken, and we will see. So this is a detail about the Kuru dynasty, how Bhishma came in from Bhishma. He doesn't get to marry. Then Shantanu marries Satyavati, and they get two sons. Yeah, all of these various combinations in the Mahabharata is there. So many characters. Yeah. And in the end, of course, the important set of people are Duryodhana and his 99 brothers and one sister. Yeah. And the five Pandavas, Yudhishthir, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadev. Yeah, and of course, Lord Krishna playing the part there as one of the mediators just prior to the war. Yeah, he is the one who is seen as nephew of Kunti. Yeah, and also he is shown as favorable to the Pandavas because the Pandavas, very righteous, were very pious. Yeah, and he came into this world, he descended into this world, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the king of Mathura. So that's how the overall background of the cast of characters is. We'll see a little bit more in the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. But overall background also to the war, we know why is the war happening. We all know this, that there is a match, there is a gambling match which a rigged gambling match with Yudhishthira loses. Yeah, and then they have to go to the forest exile, and one of the conditions of the exile was yeah, if once you finish your exile, you have to go into Agyatwas, and in that Agyatwas, if you do not get caught, then we will give you back your kingdom. Yeah, and if you get caught, then you'll have to go back again for 13 years for Vanvas. And there is where the dispute starts. Yeah, they say, no, we have completed our Agyatwas, now we have to give back our kingdom. Duryodhan says, nothing doing, I will not give you anything. And Lord Krishna and many mediators are sent, and Lord Krishna is one of the last mediators who is sent. Yeah, and very famously, we know Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana saying that I will not even give one part of the nail's head. Yeah, on of that is that much land also I will not give to the Pandavas. So then war is imminent. Yeah, and everybody is now ready there for the war. Both are there. Arjuna is also ready, and he is. That is where this particular Bhagavad Gita gets spoken. So, Srila Prabhupada, in the like I showed you, there are these four things. Yeah, setting the scene, dedication, preface, and introduction. In these four things, in the preface, he makes some further points. Yeah, he talks about why it is important to read the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Yeah, because a lot of time, many of the other translators, they have made room for their own philosophies and concepts, and they have pushed it through Bhagavad Gita. It is not as it is. It's not what Lord Krishna is saying. And Lord Krishna's this particular translation, Srila Prabhupada says, it is a direct translation from the shlokas. Yeah, so we will see how the Bhagavad Gita is structured, so that we can know it becomes a very scholarly and a very easy to comprehend and consistent and comprehensible document, so that we can understand what Lord Krishna is saying without any interpretation. Yeah, so we are there to understand directly what Lord Krishna says. Yeah. So that's what is the overall background to this particular Bhagavad Gita as it is that we are looking at. Srila Prabhupada dedicates this book, this entire translation to one of the acharyas called Baladev Vidyabhushan. And we will see today in when we discuss further who Baladev Vidyabhushan is. He is the one who wrote the Vedanta commentary on the Vedas based on the understanding of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us. So it's called the Govinda Bhashya. So Srila Prabhupada dedicates this entire Bhagavad Gita to him. So we will be thankful to Baladev Vidyabhushan also to as we are studying this. Okay, so then comes this particular point of preface. So Srila Prabhupada writes just before he writes two more things he writes, preface and introduction. That's what the topic for today's discussions is, as to what all is there in the Bhagavad Gita. So preface is shows how this entire book is written. Of course, you have to, as part of your bit of a homework that needs to be done over the next 1 or 2 weeks, is you have to read the preface and the introduction. They're very long, but so we will read it over easily over 3 weeks. But we will complete the high-level introduction of the Bhagavad Gita in today's session. So how is this book written? That is what is Srila Prabhupada mentions in the preface very beautifully. He says you can see the original verse in Sanskrit. That is what is mentioned. Then there is the same Sanskrit verse written in English, transliteration it's called, so that you can read. Even though you don't know the Devanagari, you can still read what the Sanskrit verses say because it's written in English also. Then there is a beautiful one-to-one synonym. So you can comprehend what each of this word is and what is a translation of each of the words. These are synonyms of each of the words. Then based on the synonyms and the Sanskrit understanding what Srila Prabhupada has, he has translated what this verse means in English. So there's a translation in English, and it is based on the disciplic succession, the understanding that Srila Prabhupada has got from his guru, what his guru has got it from his guru, and what his guru has got it from his guru. So there is a clear linear disciplic succession where this translation comes. So many times you might see, oh, this word I didn't see in the synonyms. Why is it coming here? And that is because that is the understanding of the parampara as to what that entire verse means. So that's what the translation is. And then, of course, there is the purport. The purport means the commentary, which tells us more about that particular shloka, the context of the shloka, and how it relates to previous sets of information that Lord Krishna is giving. So it nicely contextualizes and helps us to understand what that shloka is about. So this is how the book is entirely presented. Very, very beautifully set, very, very easy to understand for all of us. Then in the preface, Srila Prabhupada writes about what ISKCON is, what the Hare Krishna movement is, and we've all probably seen many kirtans, many people singing on the roads, many people selling Bhagavad Gita on the roads, especially in India. It's very common, not so much in Dubai. And the entire message is basically what Srila Prabhupada has set up. And he says that what this Krishna conscious movement is, it's a genuine historically authorized movement. There is a clear lineage, and there was the Gaudiya Math. Before that was various other institutions from whom ISKCON is born. And it is, of course, worldwide famous now, attracting a lot of younger generations. And the entire ISKCON movement is based on Bhagavad Gita, and the message comes directly through a linear disciplic succession. So that's what one of the important parts of the Bhagavad Gita is. And Srila Prabhupada also talks about Lord Krishna in the preface. And of course, we will see a lot of this as we go forward while we are reading the Bhagavad Gita. As to who Lord Krishna is, he directly says you will commonly hear this particular one. This verse called Lord Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. This is a very unique combination of words which you will not see in any other translation and understanding. Why? Because he says that Krishna is a personality, he is a person, yeah, and he is a supreme person, yeah, and of where? Of Godhead. That's how he uses this word, yeah, and gives more information about Krishna, that Krishna, the person, and his inner spirit are non-different. So we have a soul, we are the soul rather, and we have this outer body, isn't it? So we are two, we are, there is something, what we are inside, sitting inside, and we are outside this particular body, yeah. So but for Krishna everything is same, he is non-different in and out, yeah. And Krishna is absolute in the real absolute terms. What does that mean? It means that his name, form, qualities, pastimes, etc. are non-different from him, yeah. So many times if you are thirsty and you want water, you have to go to the take water and actually drink the water. You can't say water, 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 and water manifests itself, isn't it? Water and the name water are two different things. Not with Krishna. Krishna and Krishna's names are the same, and we will discuss this as we go further in the Bhagavad Gita also. Yeah, and of course, whenever we hear all of these things about Lord Krishna, we find it difficult to understand because we are still neophytes. We are still in the beginning stages of understanding who Lord Krishna is. So that's what Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport. And finally, he finishes in the preface. Finally, he finishes his preface with giving a warning. Yeah, a warning in the sense that there are many wrong and incorrect interpretations of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So when Srila Prabhupada mentions Lord Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, as a person, yeah, he mentions that that Lord Krishna is a person, which means there is a personality, there is somebody who you can have a relationship with, yeah. But many people interpret that the supreme truth God is nothing but formless, and that he is energy, he is light. That is how many of the people think, and many of the people then theorize, oh, if God is light and I am also light because I am a spirit spark, yeah, and when I go and merge into that light, if this energy and my energy merges, then I also become God, yeah. So those are the kind of interpretations which are extremely wrong. Those are the ones which are also getting pushed in the name of Bhagavad Gita, yeah. So Srila Prabhupada very clearly puts out this warning, yeah, that if we hear these kinds of unauthorized commentaries, then our entire surrender to Lord Krishna, our entire bhakti, our entire love for Lord Krishna might go away. Yeah, and therefore he says in this particular part of the preface that we have to be very careful not to hear any kind of Mayavada. This is called Mayavad. That I am the Lord Krishna is formless, he is energy, I am also energy, I will merge with the energy and I will become God. Yeah, so this is called Mayavada philosophy, and Srila Prabhupada warns in the preface about this particular type of philosophy. Okay, so then comes why, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Many times, and many of you have rightly posited that this is a manual, this is a way of life. It helps us to guide us how to live. And these are some of the things which Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. Let's read this. Yeah, Indu Mataji can read this.
Hare Krishna.
Is it visible, right?
Yes. Purpose of Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Guide conditioned soul to the same purpose for which Krishna descends to this planet once in a day of Brahma. Prabhuji, I have to read. This purpose is stated in Bhagavad Gita and we have to accept as it is. Otherwise, no point in understanding Gita and its speaker, Krishna. To interpret Bhagavad Gita without any reference to the will of Krishna is greatest offense.
Because
it defeats the whole purpose. In order to save oneself, one must understand Sri Krishna as was directly understood by Arjuna. Krishna's first disciple and fulfill mission of life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, what is the purpose here, as mentioned in the preface and as mentioned by the Bhagavad Gita itself? That's what Srila Prabhupada mentions. It is to guide the conditioned soul, yeah, to the same purpose for which Lord Krishna descends. Now, what is the? It is to help us guide where we are all called conditioned souls, and we'll understand also as we progress why we are called conditioned. Yeah, the conditioned soul is it requires guidance. We are lost in the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. Yeah, and Lord Krishna and many of his associates come to help us and understand this particular point that we are in the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death, and we have to come out. Yeah, so the entire purpose has to be therefore understood that Bhagavad Gita is going to help me to come out of the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. Yeah, and we have to accept that method or the way of helping us to come out of this cycle. Otherwise, there's no point of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, so when we read something, yeah, we have to apply it. Like any knowledge gets fully assimilated in three phases. Yeah, it's discovery. You discover knowledge. Yeah, then you understand what it means. Like, for example, when the apple fell on Newton's head, he was thinking, oh, why did the apple fall down? Why didn't it go up? Yeah, and then he discovered, yeah, gravity. He discovered the concept of gravity. Then he understood what gravity was. He formulated laws. We know Newton's three laws of motion. Yeah, all of those he formulated. So he understood gravity. He discovered gravity. He understood gravity, and then there is a lot of application of that principles. We see why planes can fly high, or why rockets can go up, is because the application or the knowledge about gravity is applied. Yeah, and therefore when all three of them happen, when discovery happens, when understanding happens, and when application happens, that is when we can say, yes, yeah, we have completely understood what gravity is or what this concept is. Same way with Bhagavad Gita also. Yeah, so we will discover, yeah, we will understand, and then we will apply in our lives. Yeah, only then, when this application in our lives happen, only then the real purpose of Bhagavad Gita will get fulfilled. Otherwise, yeah, it can just be another textbook, yeah, which you have read. Okay, you can say I've read, and no change in your life. So there has to be a visible change in your thought processes, some change in your actions, yeah, to comprehend, for us to know that you've really understood the Bhagavad Gita. Now that is what Srila Prabhupada makes this point in the preface here. That what is the purpose? He says, in order to save oneself, one must understand that Sri Krishna was understand Sri Krishna as was directly understood by Arjuna, Krishna's first disciple, and fulfill this mission of life. Yeah, so that's what this one is going to give. Purpose. It's going to help us understand what the purpose of life is. Okay, so yeah, that's what the entire preface also talks of in this part. Then comes the part about introduction. Introduction is a very, very long background given by Srila Prabhupada in this entire this. The background begins with a very fantastic prayer. Yeah. And the prayer is called the Mangalacharan prayer. And we will attempt to do this every time just before we start our Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, as part of our opening prayer. So we'll do our, as during every session, we will do the japa to begin with, and then we will do this Mangalacharan every time. It's a very fantastic prayer to know and learn. So I will repeat, maybe some of you know can repeat, or you can just give oral reception as of now. Once you keep hearing it many, many times, automatically it will get by hearted by you also. Yeah, it goes like this. Om Adnyana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shriyuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sacha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitham Shucha. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वांछा कल्पतरयु भयश्च च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Yeah, so beautiful prayer, and there are the meaning of that prayer is also mentioned here under each of these shlokas, under each of this particular thing. The very first one is what we will look at today, which is Om Adhyana Timirandhasya. It so beautifully says something as a part of the prayer. Yeah, Aruna Mataji can read this.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. When will
Yeah.
Srila
No, that's it. That's it. And that's the first part. That's that I was born in darkest ignorance. Yeah, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. And I'm praying to him. So we are all Srila Prabhupada here is our guru. There are many gurus that we get. One of the very first gurus are our parents. Yeah. So like that, we will see so many gurus, so many teachers in schools. You will meet many gurus. Yeah, and here the book that we are reading, Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srila Prabhupada is our guru here for that particular moment, and therefore we are doing namaskar. We are paying respectful obeisances unto this guru here, and to all the gurus. Further, different gurus are mentioned. But that's the Mangalacharan part. Yeah. So if we look at the introduction, yeah, this is the Mangalacharan part, invoking auspiciousness, it's called. So therefore, just before you start reading Bhagavad Gita, we invoke auspiciousness, and this is the auspiciousness that we invoke through this particular prayer. Yeah. So then Srila Prabhupada starts the actual background of Bhagavad Gita. And he gives us a brief introduction in the very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. It says it's called the Gita Upanishad, or the Song of God. And it is what? It is the essence of Vedic knowledge, most important Upanishad in the Vedic literature. So if you start reading this particular introduction here, we'll not read all of the introduction. You can read it as we go ahead, but the important parts of each of the introduction are there in the slide deck. That's what he says here. The Bhagavad Gita, also known as Gita Upanishad, essence of Vedic knowledge, and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. Of course, there are many commentaries in English on Bhagavad Gita, and one may question the necessity for another one. Yeah, so he makes this point as to, he makes this point as to why one more translation of Bhagavad Gita is needed. Yeah, and he makes that point further as he says none of them are authoritative. Why are they not authoritative? Because the opinion and the information about Lord Krishna has been removed, and the author's own opinion has been superimposed. That's what he says in this. Yeah, many commentaries of Bhagavad Gita, none of them strictly authoritative, because all of them, the commentator has expressed their own opinion without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Yeah. So what is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita? So now comes the exercise. I want all of you to, I hope everybody has the Bhagavad Gita open within your, if not, I want every one of you, I'll give you 5 minutes. You have to read this particular section which I have highlighted, the spirit of Bhagavad Gita, from spirit of Bhagavad Gita till this one, till Kurukshetra, the battlefield of Kurukshetra. One paragraph, it will take around 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. And I want you to think, in that, as to what do you think is the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita is. So exercise, 5-minute exercise, and we'll do discussion on this particular one. Time starts now. Okay, if you're going to read on the screen, then maybe I can make this screen a bit more easy so that scrolling doesn't happen. Just give me a minute. I thought you would all probably have the I hope it's not become too small. Okay, hopefully everybody's done reading. Yeah, so what do you think? What is being said as the spirit of Bhagavad Gita? What is the important point that Srila Prabhupada mentions in this particular section? Yeah. Yeah,
We have to understand the Bhagavad Gita through the original speaker, and the
Very
original
nice.
speaker is Lord Himself.
Very nice.
And
Very nice.
it is accepted by our great acharyas also, like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, and Lord is himself has told himself has tell that he is the supreme personality of Godhead in Bhagavad Gita. So we have to
Very,
accept Lord as the supreme personality
very nice. And
without any doubt.
what is the analogy given there? There's a nice analogy given to make us understand this spirit of Bhagavad Gita.
Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam.
No.
It is between the medicine and
Like
yes.
medicine. Yeah.
So if you want to take a medicine, we will have to take the direction of the physician.
Exactly.
Likewise, we have, if we want to understand the Bhagavad Gita, we have to accept the speaker as it is. That is Lord Krishna.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, some other points. Yeah, Kiran Mataji, go ahead.
No, it was the same point I wanted to say.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, so the analogy is very, very important here to comprehend that just as if we follow, if you're sick, you go to the doctor, yeah, and the physician, the doctor tells you you have to do these things, you don't have to do these things, yeah, and you have to take this medicines. Yeah, so he prescribes medicines, he gives what are the things to do, what things not to do along with that, isn't it? Yeah, and then when you follow that particular directions properly, only then you get cured faster. No? Same way for all of us, we are in this material world as we will understand. And what is happening in this material world, even though we don't want sufferings, it still keeps coming. Yeah, it will, and we know for sure it will keep. Four things will keep coming, or three things rather. One has already happened: birth. Yeah, four things are four truths that will always happen: birth, old age, disease, and death. Yeah. So old age, I want old age? No, I don't want old age. I want all my hair back. I want to look young always. Yeah, but can I control? Yeah, I cannot. Yeah, old age is going to come. Disease is going to come. Yeah, so much of we all know everybody suffering some disease or the other, and many times it comes unannounced. Yeah, so old age, disease, and death. Yeah, I will have to at one point of time leave this world and go. So birth, old age, disease, death are four problems that needs a solution. So if you have, say, a headache, or if you have some earache or ear problem or whatever, you go to the doctor, he gives you some medicine and it gets cured. But what is the cure for these four things: birth, old age, disease, death? The cure is, as mentioned, is Lord Krishna. He is the one who is very powerful, who can help us to overcome this particular cycle. So, but what we have to do? We have to follow his instructions, isn't it? Just like when we go to the physician and we follow his instructions nicely, here also we have to follow his instructions to help us overcome these problems of life. And to give backup to this particular, Srila Prabhupada also makes that so many different acharyas have already done, they have reconfirmed this. It's not only him, but different acharyas, Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they have all said the same thing, that we have to accept what Lord Krishna says as it is. Yeah. And not only the acharyas, there are other scriptures which also talk about all of these particular things, which is that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead, and we have to accept what he is saying in the Bhagavad Gita with full faith and conviction. Yeah, that's what happens with our own disease also, right? If you have a doctor on whom you have full faith and conviction, doctor says do these things, we blindly follow what he says, isn't it? 3 time medicine liya hai, and then ye thanda nahi khana hai or garam nahi khana hai or whatever, and then we basically ensure we get cured. Why? Because we have faith on the doctor. Same way, we have to have full faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. And that is what the entire spirit of Bhagavad Gita is. That we have to accept what is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita as it is. So let's see now, therefore, what all things are mentioned. So now comes the point, where does, it mention that Lord Krishna is Bhagwan? Yeah, and what does Bhagwan mean? So there's a definition of Bhagwan that comes in the Vishnu Puran, which talks that anybody who has the 6 opulences in full. What are those 6 opulences? Strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. He is Bhagwan, or Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aishwarasya samagrasya viryasya yashasa shriya jnana vairagyascha chaiva shannam bhaga iti na itin gana. That's what it says in this particular scripture, that who is Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna is Bhagwan. Why? Because he has all of these 6 things: fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, strength, and even after having all these 5, full strength, full fame, full wealth, full knowledge, and full beauty, he is fully renounced. He is not attached to any of these particular set of things. And therefore, when you see somebody who is somebody just beauty, they're very beautiful. Yeah, and even with they are so beautiful, they're so attached to their own beauty. They think, oh, I'm the most beautiful woman, or I'm the most handsome man. And then they are so much attached that if anything happens to their beauty, they get broken. Yeah. So unfortunately, not with Krishna. Krishna, even though he is full of beauty, he is still not attached to any of his beauty. That's how the renunciation aspect comes in. Yeah. So that's the definition of Bhagwan here. And that's how we are listening, or we are going to listen when Lord Krishna says about how to come out of this cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. There is a backup. There is basically an authority who is telling us that. Therefore, it's not that we're just blindly we are following what is mentioned, because we believe in this particular aspect that Lord Krishna is fully authorized. Yeah. Now comes the point, okay, Lord Krishna was so long ago. Now where is he? How do I know? Yeah. So therefore, this particular point of disciplic succession comes in. Yeah. So Lord Krishna himself makes this point in the as we read in that part, that Lord Krishna has said, somebody else has taken note of it. They have then followed it up and given it to the next person. The next person is given it to the next person, and all of that. Yeah. So there is a disciplic succession. Yeah, and this disciplic succession is basically what has brought this knowledge down to our level as of now. And there are some important requirements to understand Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the introduction part. He says that we have to be bhakto si me sakha cheti. We have to be a devotee, and we have to be a friend of Krishna. Yeah, these are the 2 important qualities that we have to have, or at least we need to develop slowly. As we understand Bhagavad Gita, as we know what Lord Krishna is saying, as we get to know Lord Krishna, we will automatically become devotee of Krishna and become friend of Lord Krishna. That's what Srila Prabhupada mentions in the introduction. He also mentions different types of transcendentalists. Yeah, different types of people who are wanting to know God. Yeah, and there is one which is Jnani. He is basically focusing on light, the supreme Brahman. Yeah, then there is the meditator who meditates on Paramatma, 3 levels of understanding. And then there is a bhakta who tries to build a relationship with the Lord, because he knows the Lord is a person and I can build a relationship with him. Yeah, so Srila Prabhupada talks about 3 classes of people, and all these 3 try to build a relationship with Krishna in multiple aspects. The devotee basically has, these are the 5 levels of associations that you can have with Lord Krishna. Yeah, one is you can become a passive state, Shantaras, trees or flute of Lord Krishna. Flute is also having a relationship with Krishna, but it's in a passive state. It's called Shantarasa. Then you can become a servant of Lord Krishna, like Hanuman. Hanuman is servant of Lord Rama. Rama is a form of God. Yeah, and he is Dasyaras. And then there is, you can become a friend of Lord Krishna, Sakhyaras. Yeah, then there is parental, you can become a parent to Lord Krishna. Many of the paramparas where they look at Krishna as a small baby and they take care of him as a baby. Yeah. So what are they trying to build? They're trying to build a relationship with Lord Krishna in the form of a parent that has with the child. Yeah. And then you can, of course, also become a conjugal lover or madhurya rasa. The various gopis have relationship with Lord Krishna in that manner. So 5 different relationships with the Lord that can be built in, that the devotee tries to make. Apart from this, there are 7 other rasas which will not go into detail, but the primary rasas are these 5: Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. In these 5 rasas, we try to interact and build a relationship with the Lord. Yeah, that's what Srila Prabhupada. But and why do we do that? Because today we do not know what my original position is and what my relationship with Lord Krishna is. Yeah. So what do I start with? I start with something called as Dasya Ras. I'm a servant of Lord Krishna. Let me start with that and try to build a relationship with Krishna. If I'm a servant of Lord Krishna, how do I start building a relationship with Lord Krishna? I need to know who Lord Krishna is. What is one of the easiest methods to know Lord Krishna? To see what he has tweeted. He has tweeted the Bhagavad Gita. As you read whatever he is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, as you read more and more, you will come to know about Lord Krishna, and you will come to know, therefore, what your position with Lord Krishna is. Yeah. So that's what is the point. Therefore, we have to accept Krishna as Arjuna accepts Lord Krishna. Yeah. So there is this entire write-up as to how Arjuna accepts Lord Krishna. He says, you are the ultimate abode, you are the purest, you are the absolute truth, you are the supreme enjoyer. Basically, you are the person to whom I'm going to believe whatever you're going to say. And the same outlook we also need to have. Yeah, that whatever Lord Krishna is going to say in Bhagavad Gita is what I'm going to accept and I'm going to try and implement in my life. That is what the importance of or reading this particular scripture is. Why? Because there is some change I want to make, and what change Lord Krishna is going to tell me that particular change. Why? Because Arjuna has also done that particular thing as he saw Krishna in this particular way, that he is the ultimate, and whatever he says, I will follow. Yeah, so that's the summary of the entire whatever we discussed just now, how the Bhagavad Gita to be understood. Yeah, so nice summarization. Maybe somebody can read the summarization. Yeah, Kiran Mataji can read this.
Yes. Bhagavad Gita should be taken a spirit of devotion. One should not think that he is equal to Krishna. One should not think Krishna has ordinary personality or even very great personality, but Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead. One trying to study Bhagavad Gita should at least theoretically accept Sri Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead. One should read Bhagavad Gita in submissive spirit, else it is very difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita because it is a great mystery.
Yeah, so that's the entire spirit of why we emphasize this in the introduction is what should be our attitude, how should we read Bhagavad Gita, because we have to understand what the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is, and we have to understand who the person who is speaking Bhagavad Gita is. Yeah, so that's why this emphasis is given for us to comprehend and at least to know that when I'm taking or starting to read Bhagavad Gita, how should my attitude be? This is what the attitude should be. We should know who Lord Krishna, of course, very difficult to know Lord Krishna, but know that he is the supreme personality of Godhead, and whatever he is saying is the absolute truth. Yeah. Then when we read it in this submissive spirit, that is when it all opens the doors. That is when we comprehend and understand. Otherwise, it's going to remain a mystery. Lord Krishna himself says in the 9th chapter that this is Raja Guhyam. Yeah, it is a very, very very, very top secret. Nobody even knows this. Yeah. So that's why, because nobody is submissive. Only when you are submissive, then you will to understand what Bhagavad Gita is. So that's the important aspect about how to understand, how to take up Bhagavad Gita when we are reading and when we're trying to understand. Okay, so I will stop speaking here for a minute. Tell me any questions, doubts, thoughts, comments, protests.
Prabhuji, it is mentioned that first it is given to sun god, then Manu, then Ichvaku. But in the Bhagavad Gita book, I think it's in the intro first page, it is disciplic succession. It is given like Lord Brahma,
Yes, nice
then
question. Yeah. So anyway,
so-
we would have discussed this in the 4th chapter, but quick thought here is Lord Krishna also says further that the disciplic succession has got broken. Yeah. So what was mentioned there is one of the disciplic succession that gets broken, then Krishna starts one more. Yeah. So there are many more, and it comes here. There are 4 key disciplic successions. If we go a minute, jump there a bit. Yeah, these are the 4 disciplic succession, 5 rather. One is Mayavada, and there is the Brahma Sampradaya. So, of course, Ikshvaku, what Lord Krishna says, is one of the successions, but that's got broken, so that nobody knows now where it is or where that information. So it is got again re-established. Again by whom? By Lord Brahma. Yeah, and there is one Sampradaya or one disciplic succession called the Lakshmi or the Shri Sampradaya. Then there is the Rudra Sampradaya, and there is the Kumar Sampradaya. The 4 Kumaras, they have also established their Sampradaya. Yeah, and then of course there is the Mayavadi or the Sampradaya, which we do not generally want to comprehend, and that is given by Shankaracharya. Yeah. So basically, Lord Brahma, this is where ISKCON or we fall under. Yeah, so Lord Brahma, he gave it to, of course, there is a lot of set of people which we see. Then he gave it to Madhva. Madhva has given it then to Lord Chaitanya. Of course, more people in between. Yeah, and there are multiple works by this particular sampradaya. One is the Purna Pradnya Bhashya and the Govinda Bhashya. Yeah, which basically explains based on our paramparic disciplic succession what the understanding of the truth is. Yeah. Then this. So basically, if you look at the sampradayas, they are nothing. They talk about the same thing. They believe in Lord Krishna only, but certain technical differences are there. For example, to say dal created in the west of India, in say Maharashtra, dal is a slightly different taste. But the same dal, when it is cooked in say Calcutta, it is called dal only, but it has a different taste. It has a different flavor, isn't it? And same thing with the south, or if you go to the north, isn't it? Same dal, but different, slightly different tastes. Same thing is this also. Yeah, the Brahma Sampradaya, they also believe Lord Krishna is the ultimate and all of them, but slight technical differences are there in the understanding of the philosophy. With this particular Ramanujacharya, how he explained. So main are Madhvacharya in this sampradaya, Ramanujacharya in this sampradaya, then Vallabhacharya in Rudra sampradaya. So we all know Vallabhacharya as one of the important acharyas, and Nimbarkacharya in the Kumar sampradaya. Yeah. So what they philosophized, yeah, for us to comprehend, something called as Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva. That's what this particular sampradaya talks of. Vishishta Advaita is what the Shri Sampradaya talks of. Shuddha Advaita and Dvaita Dvaita. These are all technical words, and they are slight philosophical differences in the overall picture. That's how, but these are 4 authorized sampradayas, and we can take initiation or get connected to any one of the sampradayas for us to move ahead. Yeah, and that's what Srila Prabhupada mentions in the introduction set of disciplic succession. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, good. Any other question or thought before we progress further? Long purport, but long introduction. but we will try to cover important parts. No? Okay, so let's then come to the 5 main topics of Bhagavad Gita. What does Bhagavad Gita consist of? Yeah. So Baldev Vidyabhushan has made this fantastic contribution, and Srila Prabhupada refers to his work in the Govinda Bhashya and says the overall Bhagavad Gita consists of 5 main topics. Yeah, and we will see what those 5 topics are. Ishvara, or God, the supreme controller, Lord Krishna. Of course, that is what is the main Bhagavad Gita about. Then it talks about Jiva, or the living entity. All of us, we are all Jivas, we are all living entities. Yeah, and who are we? We are spirit souls, isn't it? So, a simple example or to understand is when I say my nose, my eyes, my ears, my hands, my body. Who's the me here? I can't say me is here, this is my face. I can't say this is me, no, this is my body. This is my hand. So who's the me here? Me is somebody who's sitting inside this body. So many times what happens, we falsely identify ourselves as the body. Yeah, and unfortunately what we are the spirit soul. Yeah, this somebody who is sitting inside this body. This body is like a machine. For kids to understand, we generally give the example of Iron Man. We all heard of this character called Iron Man. Yeah, who has the iron outer body and is sitting inside. Yeah, and he's controlling and he is doing all the heroic stuff, isn't it? Same way we as spirit soul are sitting inside. Yeah, and the outside is the covering only, the body. Yeah, so we as a spirit soul is another topic of the Bhagavad Gita to understand, comprehend who the spirit soul is. Then there is something called as Prakriti or material nature, this entire world that is created. That entire material world is called, Prakriti is called material nature. It is identified in 3 sets of things. They are called the gunas, Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna, or the mode of goodness, mode of passion, or mode of ignorance. That's what the other topic is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Then there is another topic called time. Lord, how is time? And so the jiva, what is he doing? He gets stuck in this material nature, and as time goes by, he's creating so much of activities, isn't it? Yeah, and these activities are called nothing but karmas. Yeah, so karma is another topic. Law of karma. What is karma? Types of karma. Different ways to remove karma, add karma. All of those are discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. So 5 things discussed: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and time. The Supreme Lord, the living entity, material nature, time, and karma or activity. So these 5 things are the principal topics of Bhagavad Gita, is what we will be studying as we progress further. Ishvara, of course, a little bit more details. Supreme Lord Krishna as the Ishvara. He is the ultimate controller or the controller of the controllers. Yeah, and everything is working under Lord Krishna. Then is the Jiva. All of us as Jivas, the analogy given is that of a tree. So this is the tree. Yeah, the body as the tree, and within the tree, inside the tree, on the branches, is this bird sitting. And the bird, what is it doing? It is trying to enjoy this entire fruits of the tree, different things that are in the tree. And next to the tree, next to the branch, or next to where the Jiva is sitting, is another bird, which is called Paramatma, who is also sitting as part of the body. So Lord Krishna is present in all our bodies also, yeah, along with the Jiva. So Jiva, Paramatma, or Paramatma and Atma. Those are the 2 topics. Then Prakriti that we saw, basically how it is manifested. It becomes manifested, unmanifested. It becomes, this material world gets created, all the Jivas come in, and we will see how the material world is and what the spiritual world is as we progress further. But the controlling aspect in the material world, everything here is controlled by what? The 3 modes of material nature. Sattva, Tamo, and Rajoguna are basically the controlling elements in this material world. So we will study and understand what those are and how it affects us. Then Kal, time. Above everything, above the three modes is Kal. So all of these Kala, Krishna is also defined as time, how he is everywhere, all over the world. Yeah. And lastly, the combination of the modes of nature, time, and the jiva. What happens? Activities are created. A lot of action is created. A lot of action gets generated. All these actions are basically, what do they create? They create karma, basically. So that's how the 5 topics are. A short introduction about those 5 topics. We will delve into detail as we further read the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So any questions till now, till what we've discussed? Yeah, Aruna Mataji, go ahead.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, just wanted to understand the Kal is eternal, Kal is Shashwat, or it's getting
Yeah.
Kal, not Kal only, it's eternal, or it is Shashwat.
No, eternal and Shashwat is same.
Shashwat is same.
Yeah,
It's changing, or it's a Shashwat.
Yeah. So that is mentioned in this particular topic here. All of these 4, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, and Kal, they are eternal, which means that they exist till the time this material world is there. Only karma is not eternal, ashashvat. Why do you think why is karma not eternal? Why do you think that would be? Because as long as jivas are there, there will be actions, no?
On the basis of our past life karma, we get a birth
Correct.
in the another body.
Yeah, and we'll still keep on doing karma there also. So karma should always also be eternal.
Yes.
Maybe we
Isn't it?
can change our karmas.
Maybe because
We can change our karmas.
we can change
our
our karmas, okay, or we can reduce our karmas, or our karmas can totally go away also. Imagine if all our karmas go away, and we will discuss the karma cycle. When all our karmas go away, then there is nothing binding us to be in this material world. We can leave this material world, we can get liberated, basically. We don't have birth, old age, disease, death again. Yeah, so there could be a state where none of us have any karma left. Isn't it? Because karmas keep on generating and keep on getting expended. It's like money. Salary comes, then you spend the salary. Same way karma. You do actions, karma comes, you enjoy the benefit, or you suffer the consequences of your karma, and then that karma goes away. So there could be potentially a state where nobody has any karma. Yeah. But that doesn't happen, and that's the only reason why it's not eternal. Karma is not eternal because it can become zero, technically speaking. And that's the trick. What the Bhagavad Gita teaches us is how to make it zero. Yeah. So that's what we will see as part of our discussion.
So Prabhuji,
Yeah.
time is also getting changed, no Prabhuji. Then why it is coming under
So
eternal?
time is always there, no? Time is constant. Time is the constant which is always there. Yeah, time is everywhere, right? Time is, you go to any other country, time will be there also, right? So in the material world, time is everywhere. So that's why it is only when the material world goes away, and then time will stop. But again, when the new material world comes in, which somewhere else it is always existing, some material world is already there, then there time is always on. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, time is always there. Time will always be present everywhere. And therefore time is Shashwat in that sense. Okay, so 5 topics, Bhagavad Gita, everybody has to remember these 5 topics. We will discuss in detail each of those above. Yeah. Then, of course, there is the living entity and the Lord are 2 different things. And Srila Prabhupada writes about how, there is a difference between Ishvara and Jiva. We'll discuss this in detail. But in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada gives a difference how we are not the Lord. how the living entity is not the Lord. Yeah, and right now too high level for us to comprehend and discuss. But as we progress, we will get to know the difference between the living entity and yeah. Yeah. Then comes very important concept, which Srila Prabhupada mentions, the concept of Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Yeah. So we have to understand this very importantly, because as we read Bhagavad Gita, we will come to know that there is a relationship a Jiva has with the Supreme Lord. The Atma and the Paramatma are connected through a relationship. And what is that relationship? That is called Sambandha Gyan, to know about that relationship. Yeah. Now, to achieve that, to fulfill that relationship, there needs to be a method. There needs to be a process. Yeah. To achieve that relationship. What is that process? That process is called Abhideya. Yeah. So there is a Sambandha, which is the relationship. There is the process to achieve the relationship. And once the relationship is achieved, that is the goal, end goal, that is called Prayojana. So Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Yeah, all our Vedic literatures, they talk about this particular topics, these three topics. What is my relationship with the Lord? How am I going to achieve that relationship? And once I achieve that relationship, what is the end goal? Yeah. So the end goal is love of God. For example, love is the end goal. So when I'm in full relationship with Lord Krishna and I'm fully in love with him, then that is what I have achieved. I have achieved what? Prayojan. So through the bhakti marg, what is the Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana? That is what is taught to us in our disciplic succession, in what we saw as Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. What ISKCON teaches, that is what is taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in these three topics called Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. And we will discuss this as we go further. But the important thing to remember is Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. So as we read Bhagavad Gita, you will, when we read a particular, say, shloka, we will say, this is talking about Lord Krishna, which means it is talking about Sambandha Gyan. It is helping me understand, establish my relationship. Then there will be some instruction which will come. You have to do this, which is the process of how to achieve that Sambandha. So then that is a Abhideya verse. Yeah. And then there is, of course, the result. We will see that when you go to the supreme abode, you will be always in love, all of that particular aspect, that becomes Prayojana. Yeah. When it talks about the goal. Yeah. So Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana are three concepts that we will have to, that Srila Prabhupada brings out in the introduction for us to keep track of. Nothing to worry about as of now. We will discuss this in detail as we progress. This is just introduction. These are the things that are getting introduced. What is there in Bhagavad Gita? 5 topics. What is the spirit of learning Bhagavad Gita? What is Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana? All these are various topics that will come in. What will also come in the Bhagavad Gita are different energies of Lord Krishna, Shaktis. Yeah. So there is a spiritual energy, there is a material energy. Then within the spiritual energy, there are 2 further segregations, Antaranga and Tatastha and Bahiranga. Yeah. So all of these is what we will discuss as part of the Bhagavad Gita learning. Okay. Quickly moving ahead. Yeah, this we saw different, how does the Lord get manifested? So the understanding about how the Lord is, Srila Prabhupada mentions that that the Lord can be understood, or the supreme truth can be understood in 3 ways. He says you can understand it as Brahman, or light. Many people say God is light. Yeah, and then they will concentrate on the light, and they will focus on the light, focus on energy. That's one understanding of Lord Krishna. Yeah, second understanding of the supreme personality of Godhead, or the supreme truth, is that Lord is sitting in my heart and he is Paramatma. So if my heart is a reflection, the Lord is sitting there on top, and the reflection of the Lord is there in my heart, and that is what the supreme truth is. So that's the second understanding of the supreme. That's called Paramatma realization. There is Brahman realization, Paramatma realization. And the third realization is Bhagwan realization, or to know that Lord Krishna is a person. He's like a Superman, and he can do any of these kind of all of these things. Yeah, and he can expand himself. He can be omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, and all of the things. Yeah, so that's the third understanding of knowing that Lord Krishna is a person. Yeah, so these three understandings are different realizations that are that are mentioned as part of the Bhagavad Gita, along with the five different understandings and all the material world. So this overall gives us the understanding of who we are in this entire presentation, in this entire material world, who we are and what is my purpose here. Yeah, once you comprehend the big picture, then you come to know, oh, this is where I am right now. We don't know what the big picture is. We don't know what our purpose in life is, isn't it? So Bhagavad Gita tells us about all of these particular things, so that it contains what it says. Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of Vedic wisdom for us to comprehend our overall picture. So many other things, various fields of activities that will come in, 24 elements. All of those are also explained in the chapters coming in. Yeah, and it's the essence of all Vedic knowledge. So there's a similar chart which is all the Vedic knowledge. So now if you go through each one of them, it will take lifetimes and lifetimes. But if you just go through Bhagavad Gita, that's the essence of all of these particular knowledge. That's what Lord Krishna has done in this particular. Yeah, okay, leave that summary. So many of the times we think, oh, in this entire sets of Upanishads and Vedas and Puranas and Itihasas and Smriti and Shruti, what is there? Yeah. So this is a nice chart which tells us what the three conclusions of all the Vedanta. Yeah. The three conclusions of the Vedanta, or three things, very in a very short way to understand, not easy, of course. But that's what is mentioned, that there are two types of living entities, fallible and infallible. That those who are living in the material world and are undergoing the cycle of birth, old age, disease, death again and again and again and again. Then there are liberated beings, infallible living entities who are there in the spiritual world. They don't undergo birth, old age, disease, and death. So there is this differentiation now. We all living entities in the material world, and there are certain living entities which are there in the spiritual world. We have to go there, and that is what our end goal is. Yeah. Then the second understanding of all the entire Vedanta Sutras is Paramatma, or Lord Krishna is the maintainer of all the worlds. Everything is maintained and coordinated and owned by Lord Krishna. And who is this Paramatma? That is the last understanding of the Vedanta Sutra. Purushottama, Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. He is beyond all of this. He is the source of Brahman and Paramatma. He is the greatest, and all of these. We will see each of these. Again, the point I'm making is that a lot of knowledge is packed in our scriptures. Yeah. And to comprehend those obviously requires time and energy. And that's what we are trying to do here. Because what Bhagavad Gita is, it's an essence of all Vedic knowledge. We don't have to waste time reading all the Vedas and Upanishads and all of this. For that, we have to first learn Sanskrit grammar, which itself is a lifetime, entity. And once you've learned Sanskrit grammar and Sanskrit, then we can comprehend all of those. But what is an easy way? We all want shortcuts, right? Lord Krishna is giving us a shortcut. He's saying Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. Read Bhagavad Gita and everything will be known to you. Yeah. 5 sampradayas we've covered as to what they have. Yeah, we will skip all of this. Yeah, this is an important chart which shows what is there in the spiritual world. Lord Krishna explains that in the Bhagavad Gita. He says that the spiritual world is not illuminated by the sun or moon, by fire or electricity or whatever. It is lit up by the Brahma Jyoti, or the effulgence of the Lord. And there are various different kind of realms or planets that you might call spiritual planets, where Lord Krishna is living in Goloka. That's one of his addresses. Yeah, and there are various other Vaikuntha planets where all other different Vishnu lokas are present. Yeah. So what is there in the material world? All of these seven planets on top, or seven realms, yeah, and seven realms below. The hellish planets, the heavenly planets. Yeah, that's how. This is only in the material world. What the jiva does, the jiva is here on earth. It does good activities. It might get some punya. It will enjoy some time here. Again, come down here. Yeah, it will do some bad activity. It will get punished. It will go down here. After the punishment is over, it will come back again. And the jiva, what does it do? It just keeps on. It's like a 14th floor of 7 basement and 7, 7 floors high building is there. And it just keeps on going up and down, up and down, up and down in this. That's what the living entity we all are doing here. Yeah, and that's what is described in the, what we have to do. We have to go beyond this. You have to go beyond this, and you have to go to Goloka Vrindavana. That's what the goal is, that as per what the Bhagavad Gita is, and we will see that. Yeah, what the Bhagavad Gita also mentions is what the material world is like. Yeah, it says the material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Yeah, and more information is given in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita about what this material world is. Yeah, different practices in the material world and spiritual world is also what is described. Then how to go there, how to attain the abode of Lord Krishna. That's the important topic of Bhagavad Gita. 8th chapter discusses about how to attain Krishna. Yeah, and one of the tricks there mentioned is in the 8th chapter, 5th verse. Yeah, antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshaya. That we have to remember Krishna only at the time of leaving our body. So may you all live for 100 years, but at the end of your life, you have to think of only Krishna. You can't think of your fixed deposit. You can't think of your money. You can't think of your daughter's marriage. You can't think of anything there apart from Krishna. If you think of anything apart from Krishna, then you'll come back again in this world. But if you're only thinking of Krishna and nothing else, that's what Krishna mentions. This is not my words. Krishna is mentioning this in the Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is the eternal truth. Yeah, so that's what Krishna says. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, only Krishna, nothing else, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Yeah, that's what this particular verse is in 8.5. Very interesting verse, and we will meditate a lot on this particular verse as we read the Bhagavad Gita, as to how to attain Lord Krishna and how to come out of this suffering that we have of birth, old age, disease, and death. Yeah, because what is Krishna's nature? Krishna's nature is Sat Chit Ananda, is eternal knowledge and full of bliss. There is never any suffering there. So if you have to attain this nature, Sat Chit Ananda, what we have to do? We have to think of Lord Krishna only at the time of death. That's what this this is the entire picture put together. This is the material world. This is where we are in this lower place, and this is the spiritual world where Lord Krishna is present, and a lot of all other avatars are present, and we have to move from here to here. How to move is what the entire Abhideya is. The process of going to Lord Krishna. Yeah, that's what the entire purpose of Vedic literature is. Why is all this? Why are we reading all of this? Because we have to use this material body. We have to use this particular body so that we can attain Krishna. We can attain liberation and come out of the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. That's what the importance of reading Bhagavad Gita is. That's the importance of understanding Krishna's advice to Arjuna, which is not only for Arjuna, but also for all of us. How can I'm living here in this material world, what should I do so that I can come out of this material world? That's what the entire introduction is about. It also talks about different forms of human society, the four classes, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, and how this system helps us in remembering Krishna or attaining Krishna. That what it talks about. It talks about the 9 processes, devotional service processes. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnuhu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. 9 processes to attain the devotional service, or 9 practices of devotional service. And who is the topmost person who has done that? That's what we will discuss as we go further. Yeah, how each of these practices can be brought in into our lives so that we can totally be absorbed. That's what is the point. We have to be totally absorbed in remembrances of, because the point of death can be any time, isn't it? So at any point of time, we should be ready. Yes, if this is the time I am going to die, then I know 24 hours I'm going to think of Lord Krishna and nothing else, and I have the capability and I have the capacity to do that. Why? Because I have read Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So I have achieved total absorption in this particular process of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Yeah. So how to reach there is the important topic, by approaching a spiritual master, understanding what he says. Yeah. And then basically once we adopt the principles that are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, then we can perfect our lives and permanently solve the problems of our life. Now, that is the promise that Srila Prabhupada gives in the introduction. So that's where this introduction ends. I want you all to read the introduction as we progress. At least start off reading some portions of the introduction, and much of it is covered in this discussions that we've had today. And it will be very easy for you as you go through. And I'm sure there will be a lot of questions which will come in. Yeah. So I want you to note down your questions, and we can discuss those in our next class. Hare Krishna. So any quick questions to whatever we've covered till now? A lot of information has been packed here. I will forward this slides deck to you also, of course. Yeah, but the trick is, of course, to give you a very high level overview of what all we will see in the Bhagavad Gita, why we are reading Bhagavad Gita, what should be a spirit of reading Bhagavad Gita. And hopefully you all will imbibe all of these things as we read and go ahead. Okay, if there are no further questions, and we are already out of time. Sorry, I've taken 5 more minutes of yours, but hopefully that is fine. We can close our class here. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Let's
Hare
close
Krishna.
with closing prayers. एकम शास्त्रम देवकी पुत्र गीतम एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मंत्र तस्य नामानि यानि कर्मापि एकम तस्य देवस्य सेवा त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कात्यायनी महामाये महायोगिन्यधीश्वरी नन्दगोपसुतं देवी पतिं मे कुरुते नमः श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्ण तवास्मि श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्ण तवास्मि श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्ण तवास्मि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। भगवद गीता पाठ की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय।